Gerald O'Hara's land, which stretched away as far as the eye could see. The White House was like an island, sitting in a wild Red Sea, the earth blood-colored after the rains of recent weeks. "Scarlett, you will promise to dance with us at the party at 12 Oaks tomorrow, will not you?" said Brent. "If you do, we will tell you a secret," said Stuart. "What secret?" asked Scarlett. "Who told you?" "Miss Pittypat Hamilton, Ashley Wilkes' cousin who lives in Atlanta. Charles and Melanie Hamilton's aunt," said Stuart. "She said that we will hear news of a wedding tomorrow night, at the party," said Brent. "Oh, I know that," said Scarlett, disappointed. "It is about Charlie Hamilton and Honey Wilkes. Everyone knows they will get married someday." "No, it is about Ashley," said Stuart. "He is going to marry Charlie's sister, Miss Melanie." Scarlett's face did not change, but her lips went white, like a person who is in the first moments of shock. "They were not going to marry until next year," said Stuart, "but with all the talk of war, both families think it will be better if they are married soon." He smiled. "Now, Scarlett, you must promise to eat supper with us at the party." "Of course I will," said Scarlett automatically. "And give us plenty of dances?" "Yes." She spoke as if in a dream. "And sit with us at lunch, too?" said Brent. "What?" said Scarlett. "Oh, yes, of course." The twins were unable to believe their good luck. They talked on about the dance, and Ashley Wilkes and Melanie Hamilton. They laughed and joked, and waited for Scarlett to invite them to supper, and it was some time before they realized she was not listening to them. Scarlett watched the twins right away. Ashley was going to marry Melanie Hamilton. Oh, it could not be true. It was all a mistake. Ashley was in love with her, not Melanie. Mammy came out of the house. She was a big old Negro who loved Ellen O'Hara and her family. "Are the gentlemen gone?" she asked. "Why did not you ask them to stay to supper?" "I did not want to listen to them talking to Pa about the war all through supper," said Scarlett. "You just are not polite, Miss Scarlett," said Mammy. "Now come into the house before you get cold." "I want to watch the sun go down," said Scarlett. "I will sit here until Pa comes home. Just fetch me a light coat, Mammy." Mammy went back into the house and Scarlett made a sudden decision. "I will go and meet Pa," she thought. "He will be coming back from 12 Oaks soon, and he will know about Ashley." As a child, Scarlett had not given Ashley Wilkes a single thought. But 2 years ago, he had arrived home after touring Europe, riding up to Tara with the sun so bright on his fair hair that it shone like silver. "You have grown up, Scarlett," he had said, kissing her hand. And from that moment on, she wanted him as simply as she wanted food to eat, and horses to ride, and a soft bed to sleep in. For 2 years, he took her to dances and suppers, and a week did not go past without Ashley calling at Tara. It was true he never spoke to her of love, and his clear gray eyes never burned with that hot light Scarlett knew so well in other men. But she was sure that he loved her. She saw him looking at her sometimes, in that sad, strange way of his. Scarlett heard the sound of Gerald O'Hara's horse and saw him coming across the fields at full speed. Gerald was 60 years old, a small man with silver white hair and hard little blue eyes. He was surprised to see her. "How is everyone at 12 Oaks?" she asked him. "They are all talking about the war," he said, "and—" "Did they speak about the party?" Scarlett asked quickly. "Yes, I think they did," said Gerald. "Miss Melanie Hamilton and her brother Charles have come from Atlanta and—" "Oh, so she did come." Scarlett's heart became heavy. Was Ashley there, too? Yes, he was. Gerald looked closely at his daughter. "That is why you came to meet me, is not it? Why did not you say so before? Now what is all this about you and Ashley?" "There is nothing, Pa," she said. "Has he asked to marry you?" "No," said Scarlett, quietly. "And he won't," said Gerald. "John Wilkes says that Ashley is to marry Miss Melanie. They will tell everyone tomorrow." A pain cut across Scarlett's heart and she found it hard to breathe. Her father watched her, and looked uncomfortable. "Have you run after a man who is not in love with you?" "No," said Scarlett. "You are lying," said Gerald. Then went on in a kind way, "There are lots of other young men, Scarlett. I want you to be happy, and you would not be happy with him." "Oh, I would. I would." "The Wilks are different from other people," said Gerald. "They marry their cousins and keep their strangeness in the family. Look how they read books, and go to Boston and New York to see paintings and hear music." "Nobody rides a horse better than Ashley," said Scarlett. "Oh, yes, Ashley can ride and drink with the best of men, but he cares nothing about those things," said Gerald. "Now listen, there are other fine boys to marry, Scarlett. And when I am gone, I will leave Tara to you and—" "I do not want Tara," cried Scarlett, angrily. Plantations do not mean anything when she was going to say when you do not have the man you want, but Gerald has stopped her. "Not mean anything? Land is the only thing in the world that does mean anything," he cried. "It will come to you, Scarlett, this love of the land. It is in your blood and there is no denying it." He held her arm as they walked towards the house. "I will not worry your mother with this, and nor must you." They met Ellen O'Hara at the door. She was carrying the black bag in which she always kept the medicines she used for the slaves. Mammy was with her, and did not look pleased. "Mr. O'Hara," Ellen said, "a baby is dying at the Slattery house and Mammy and I are going to see what we can do." "The Slatterys!" shouted Gerald. "Those white trash?" "She is always nursing Negroes and white trash who could not look after themselves," said Mammy, annoyed. "Take my place at supper, Scarlett," said Ellen, touching her daughter's cheek. She was a tall woman, with a quiet, gentle voice and a warm smile that charmed everyone. There was something magical about her mother's touch, thought Scarlett, and for a moment forgot all about Ashley. But later an idea came to her. "Ashley does not know I love him," she thought. "He thinks I love Brent or Stuart, and he is marrying Melanie because he thinks he cannot have me. I must tell him, then we can run off to Jonesboro and get married. By this time tomorrow night, I might be Mrs. Ashley Wilkes." Chapter 2. Rhett Butler. Early the next morning, Gerald told his plantation manager, Jonas Wilkerson, to pack his things and leave. Jonas, Ellen had discovered, was the father of Emmy Slattery's dead baby, and now Ellen would not have him working. Jonas was a Yankee and hated all Southerners, and he was angry at losing the best manager's job in the neighborhood. Ellen told Gerald that she was not going to the party at 12 Oaks. "I must check Jonas has figures in the plantation books," she said. "Mammy will stay and help me." So Gerald rode on his horse beside the carriage that took Scarlett and her two sisters down the road to 12 Oaks. Scarlett thought about her plans to marry Ashley. "No one must suspect anything," she thought, "so I will flirt with every man there, from old Frank Kennedy to shy Charlie Hamilton. It will be cruel to Ashley, but it will make him want me more." "I do not know why you look so happy this morning," said her sister, Sue Ellen, looking at Scarlett. "You know Ashley is going to marry Melanie. Pennsylvania said so. And I know you love Ashley." "Sue Ellen, that is not true," said Corinne, the youngest of the three. "It is Brent that Scarlett cares about." The whole family knew that Corinne loved Brent Tarleton. But he never gave her a thought except as Scarlett's baby sister. "I do not care about Brent," said Scarlett, smiling, "and he does not care about me. He is waiting for you to grow up." Corinne went red in the face. "Oh, Scarlett, is he really?" she said. They went over the hill, and saw 12 Oaks. The house was white and beautiful under the blue sky. Lunch was going to be served outside, and Scarlett saw the Tarleton twins with their two brothers, Boyd and Tom, and Alex and Tony Fontaine, and the two Calvert boys, Rayford and Cade. "Good. Everyone is here," thought Scarlett. John Wilkes stood on the entrance steps, a silver-haired man with a quiet charm that was as warm as a summer sun. Next to him was his daughter, Honey Wilkes. His other daughter, India, was nowhere to be seen, and Scarlett guessed that she was in the kitchen giving final orders to the servants. Poor India, thought Scarlett. She has been so busy looking after 12 Oaks since her mother died that she has had no time to catch any man except Stuart Tarleton, and it is not my problem if he thinks I am prettier than her. John Wilkes helped Scarlett from the carriage, and Frank Kennedy hurried to give a helping hand to Sue Ellen, who went red but looked delighted. Frank was 40, with a thin red beard. He was nervous with women and was surprised when Scarlett, remembered